What if everything you've ever heard about hell is only half the truth? And what if the real version is far more terrifying than fire? Most people imagine hell the same way. Flames, screaming, endless torture. But the Bible paints a picture that's deeper, stranger, more psychological than physical. And here's the part no one talks about. Some of the worst parts of hell don't involve fire at all. If you've ever wondered what really happens after judgment, you're about to see it in a way you've never heard before. Let me ask you something. If hell is just fire, why does the Bible also describe it as darkness? Think about that. Fire gives light. Darkness removes it. So which is it? This is where most people miss the first clue. Hell is not just one simple place. It's described in layers, conditions, states of existence, and each one reveals something disturbing. Because hell isn't just punishment, it's separation. Total, irreversible separation. There's a story many people read, but very few truly understand. A rich man, a beggar named Lazarus. When they both die, everything flips. The rich man wakes up in torment. But here's what's strange. He can still think, still remember, still feel regret. And worst of all, he can see, not fire, not demons, but something far worse. He sees what he lost. He sees peace from a distance, and he can never reach it. Imagine this. You're not just suffering, you're fully aware. Every mistake you made, every moment you ignored, every chance you had, replaying in perfect clarity. Not once, not twice, but forever. That's not physical pain, that's psychological torment. And it never fades. Because in hell, time doesn't heal. Time traps. Now let's go deeper. The Bible calls hell outer darkness. Not just darkness, outer. Meaning outside. Outside what? Outside light, outside truth, outside presence. And here's where it gets chilling. Humans are not designed to exist without light. Not just physical light, but purpose, meaning, connection. Remove all of that, and what's left? Isolation. Pure, absolute isolation. So why does the Bible still talk about fire? Because fire represents something specific. Destruction, consumption, irreversibility. Fire doesn't just hurt, it destroys completely. And in this context, hell is not just about pain. It's about losing everything that makes you. Hope, peace, identity, gone. Here's the part that shocks most people. Hell is not a place where people want to leave as much as you'd think, because something changes. The Bible hints at hardened hearts, meaning, even in suffering, some still reject truth. Think about that. Not because they can't leave, but because they won't change. That's not just punishment. That's transformation. In the worst way, you'd expect screams, chaos, noise. But another interpretation suggests something else. Silence. A kind of emptiness so deep, feels louder than any scream. No comfort, no presence, no response. Just nothing, and you're still conscious inside it. At some point, everyone there understands one thing. This didn't happen randomly. Every decision mattered. Every ignored truth mattered. Every moment of pride, every delay, every later led here. And now, there is no later. So what really happens in hell? It's not just fire. It's awareness without hope, memory without escape, existence without purpose. It's knowing exactly what you lost and never being able to get it back. And maybe the most shocking truth of all is that hell is not just about where you are, it's about what you've become. So let me ask you this. If the real danger isn't fire, but separation, what are you moving closer to right now? Drop a comment. Aware, if this made you think differently. And if you want to understand the hidden truths most people miss, watch the next video, because what the Bible says about judgment is even more shocking than this. Here's something most people never think about. What happens immediately after you die? Not years later, not at the final judgment, but the exact moment your consciousness wakes up again. The Bible suggests something unsettling. There is no sleep like people imagine. No blank screen. No fade to black. Instead, awareness continues, but the environment changes instantly. No transition, no adjustment period. One moment you're alive, the next, you know. And that knowing hits all at once. There's a word that appears in the Bible many overlook. Hades. Not the final hell, but a holding place, a waiting zone. And here's where it gets disturbing. It's not empty. It's structured. Some are in comfort, others in torment. and they are separated by something described as a great chasm. Uncrossable, permanent. Even before final judgment, division already exists. Think about what that means. Judgment is not just a future event. It begins immediately, not with a courtroom, but with reality itself. You don't wait to discover the truth. You experience it. And once you do, there is no arguing, no excuses, because everything becomes clear. Now we move forward to something even more intense. The moment described as the final judgment. A throne. White. Pure. Unquestionable authority, and every person who has ever lived stands before it. No hiding, no distractions, no identity to protect, just truth. The Bible says something very specific here. Books were opened. Plural. Not one. Many. Which raises a question. What's inside them? Every action, every word, even thoughts. Nothing missing, nothing forgotten. And then another book is opened. The book of life. And suddenly, everything comes down to one question. Is your name there? Imagine waiting for that answer. No noise, no movement, just stillness. And then the realization begins. Some names are called, others are not. And for those who aren't, there is no debate, no appeal, because the evidence is complete. This is where things become even more shocking. The Bible describes something called the second death. Not just dying once, but a second, final separation. And this is where the lake of fire appears. But here's the part. People don't fully understand. It's not just destruction, it's finality. Absolute. Irreversibly. No return, no second chance. People imagine literal flames, but let's go deeper. A lake is different from fire. Fire spreads. A lake surrounds, consumes completely, no escape, no edge to climb out of. So what does this symbolize? Total immersion. Not just touching punishment, but being fully inside it. Here's the twist no one expects. The worst part isn't entering the lake. It's understanding why you're there. Because in that moment, everything becomes undeniable. Every truth you ignored, every warning you dismissed, every time you said, not now. It all connects, and there's no one else to blame. This is where people struggle. Why would God allow this? But here's the deeper perspective. Love cannot be forced. Relationship cannot be forced. Truth cannot be forced. So what happens if someone spends their entire life rejecting light, rejecting truth, rejecting God? Then eternity becomes the continuation of that choice. Not forced punishment, but chosen separation. There's a powerful idea many miss. Hell is not just a place people are sent. It's also a place people refuse to leave, because leaving would require change. Surrender, letting go of pride. And some never do, even when faced with truth. So what is hell really? It's not just fire, not just darkness, not just punishment. It's the full weight of reality, without denial, without distraction, without escape. It's seen clearly, too late. The truth is, hell is not just something that happens to you. It's something that forms in you over time, through choices, through resistance, through delay. And by the time it becomes visible, it's already complete. So here's the real question. If clarity came to you right now, what would it reveal? Comment truth if this changed how you see everything. And stay with me, because in the next part, we're going to uncover something even more disturbing. What the Bible says about people who think they're saved, but aren't. Here's the scariest possibility of all. Not that someone rejects the truth, but that they believe they already have it. Think about that, because deception doesn't feel like deception. It feels like certainty, confidence, even peace, and that's exactly why it's so dangerous. There's a moment described in the Bible that stops people cold. People stand before God and say, "Didn't we do all these things in your name?" They're not strangers. They're not atheists. They believed. They acted. They even convinced others. And then comes the response. "I never knew you." Not, "You failed." Not, "You weren't good enough." But, "I never knew you," which means something deeper was missing. So what's the difference? How can someone do the right things and still be wrong? Because actions can be external, but truth is internal. You can perform, you can speak, you can appear, but you cannot fake transformation. And that's where many people miss it. The Bible describes something else, a narrow gate and a wide road. The wide road is easy, popular, comfortable. It requires no resistance, no change. You can stay exactly as you are and still feel like you're moving forward. But the narrow gate, it's different. It forces you to let things go. Pride, control, self-image. And most people won't. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Most people don't reject God openly. They replace him with ideas that feel safer, more comfortable, more controllable. And over time, they build a version of truth that never challenges them, never confronts them, never changes them. And that version feels right until it's too late. People always think they have more time. I'll deal with it later. Not right now, maybe someday. But here's the problem. Time doesn't warn you when it's about to end. There's no countdown, no signal, no final reminder. One moment, you think you have years. The next, it's over. And when that moment comes, clarity hits instantly. No confusion, no doubt. Everything you avoided, understanding, becomes undeniable. And the hardest part? You recognize it. You remember hearing it. You just didn't respond. Regret in this life fades. You distract yourself. You move on. You forget. But imagine regret that never fades, never softens, never leaves. Because now, there is nothing to distract you from it. No noise, no movement, no escape, just awareness. Here's another belief many hold. As long as I'm a good person, I'll be fine. But what defines good? Compared to who? By what standard? Because if truth is absolute, then almost right is still wrong. And that's where it becomes uncomfortable. Because being better than others was never the standard. This is why the warnings in the Bible are so direct. Not to scare, but to wake people up. Because the greatest danger is not fear, it's indifference, it's thinking. This doesn't apply to me. That won't happen to me. I'm fine. Until suddenly, you're not. So what does all of this lead to? A realization. Hell is not just about the end, it's about the direction. Right now, every decision, every delay, every assumption, they're all moving you somewhere, whether you see it or not. So here's the question most people avoid. Not do you believe, but have you actually changed? Not on the outside, but inside, because that's the part no one else can see. The most shocking truth about hell is not that it exists, it's that people can walk toward it while thinking they're safe, not because they're evil, but because they're unaware. And once awareness comes, it changes everything. So be honest with yourself, not with what you say, but with what's real. Comment real if you felt this hit deeper than expected. And in the final part, we're going to uncover something even more unsettling. What the Bible says about why hell was created in the first place and who it was never meant for. Here's something most people never realize. Hell was never created for humans. Let that sink in. According to the Bible, it was prepared for the devil and his angels, not for you, not for humanity. So then the question becomes, why do people end up there? Before humanity ever existed, there was a rebellion, not on earth, but in heaven. A being created in beauty, in perfection, in light, chose pride, chose self over truth. And that choice changed everything. Because rebellion doesn't just affect one being, it creates a pattern, a path, a direction others can follow. And here's where it connects to us. The same pattern still exists, not in dramatic ways, but in small daily decisions, choosing self over truth, comfort over growth, control over surrender. It doesn't feel like rebellion. It feels normal, and that's exactly why it spreads. Here's the part that changes everything. The message of the Bible is not just warning. It's invitation, a way out, a way back. But here's the problem. You can't accept an invitation you don't believe you need, and most people don't think they do. Not because it's unclear, but because it requires something difficult, letting go of control, of pride, of the version of yourself you've built, and that's uncomfortable. So people delay, they soften it, they reinterpret it, until it no longer challenges them. At the end of everything, there are only two outcomes, not many paths, not endless options, just two. One where connection is restored, and one where separation remains. And the difference between them is not information, it's response. There is a moment, for every person, where the truth becomes clear enough to respond. Not perfectly, but honestly. And what you do in that moment matters more than anything else, because that moment echoes into eternity. When everything is revealed, no one will say, "I didn't know." The real words will be, "I didn't respond." And that's what makes it heavy. because it was never about being forced. It was always about being willing. So what's the truth about hell? It's not just a place, it's the final result of a direction chosen over time. And the most shocking part, it was never meant for you, but it remains an option. If everything else is rejected, now think back to the beginning. Fire, darkness, separation, awareness, all of it points to one thing, los, not just of comfort, but of what could have been. And that's what makes it eternal. Hell is not just about punishment. It's about separation that no longer has a way back. It's the moment where every later runs out and everything becomes final. So here's the question you can't ignore. If the truth were fully clear to you right now, would you respond differently? Or would you wait just a little longer? Comment now if you understand why this matters. And if this opened your eyes, there's one more video you need to watch, because what the Bible says about heaven is not what most people think either.